All right. I don't know if you can hear me. Probably not. Now it's showing that I have no microphone. So I have no idea if you can hear me or not. But James Chadwell, Delphi, Indiana. Is it possible? He's a player in this. A lot of us thought it was. And he does have that limp on that right side. He did have the facial features and the gait of Bridge Guy. Plus, at that time, he had all this stuff in his ears and all kinds of tattoos and people were like he fits that freaky category that the girls were talking about supposedly in the videos or whatever, is that freaky guy or still following us or whatever. So let's take a look at his face real quick. Boy, everybody's getting attacked today. Anyone doing anything to do with the Delphi case? All right, man arrested for kidnapping, assaulting a 9-year-old, may be connected to Delphi murders. Well, that's what I thought. I went with voice guy, Chadwell. It sounded like Chadwell because he's done a lot of videos uh, on social media talking to his client. He phrases when he talks. He phrases like a voice guy. He was always a player in the case. There's actually video of him, I believe, at at Mohi, the bridge, the Delphi Bridge. Possibly, I think there was a couple videos of him, and he also claimed that he knew where that bridge was, and he used to sleep underneath the bridge when he had nowhere to sleep. I guess he liked sleeping under bridges, under bridges in the videos that he was making. So he was always a player in the game. He was very violent. His past was very violent, drugs. And another one, Chadwell was another one that yeah, talking about gangs. He belonged to a club, and his club wouldn't do anything to kids. Right? They would kill people that did that to kids. It is right here, folks. You can read it for yourself. Arrested for kidnapping and assaulting a 9-year-old girl, may be connected to Delphi. James Brian Chadwell, 42, arrested last week. But this was back in 2017. He was arrested last week, charged with attempted murder and other crimes. The sheriff said Chadwell has been on their radar in the Delphi case, and they are now looking into him. On February 13th, radar in the Delphi case, and they are now looking into him. On February 13th, Williams and German went missing while hiking near the High Bridge. The following day, their bodies were discovered. At this time, police released surveillance pictures and audio of the suspect. Man, I wonder if somebody had trail cams out there and maybe these dudes didn't know. A man, a man wearing blue jeans, blue coat, and a hoodie. The case remains unsolved. No, jeans, blue coat, and a hoodie. The case remains unsolved. No, he's got 99 years coming to him or something. I think they got him for at least kidnapping this 9-year-old and other crimes that he committed. I don't know how good you guys can see that. Let me blow it up a little bit, his face. There we go. I don't know if you can see that a little bit better. All right, so this guy plays a part in the crime. And he, like I said, he was on camera talking about, hello, Debbie, hello, Spencer. He was on camera talking about he also belonged to some club. But then there's another young lady out there that claims he was part of this club, and she knew all these guys. They were all nut jobs and some club or something, which very well may be true, right? This might be exactly what they don't want to admit it. We don't want to admit it that something like this, so that there's people among us that they get their jollies out of doing this, out of kid, but they make money off of it. I believe that one girl was talking that this club down there, down south, would kidnap young girls, groom them, and then put them on the street for money. And they also would let their own club members that belong to their club sleep with these girls that they kidnap or take for free. Yeah, come on. Do I have to say any more? Do I have to say any more? And people are like, it ain't him. It couldn't have been him. He was here. He was there. He was 15 miles away from Delphi, where he lived, in a house where they caught the girl in the basement, tied up, and thank God she's alive. So, do I believe that it could have been more than what people are saying? Yes. Do I believe it could be one guy that did it by himself, seen an opportunity, took it? Yes. Do I also believe it could be a serial killer? Not just one, but maybe more than one, maybe many that operate together, possibly communicate through social media, possibly. So I'm not taking Chadwell off the table either. And now, today, Indiana has arrested Patrick Scott for the murder of the 17-year-old girl that's been missing for 6 months. Violet, Violet or something like that, her name was. That came out today. And that's in that area down there in Indiana where they picked him up. So could it be just one guy and a serial killer? That could be. But I do believe it's more than that. That's just my opinion. I have the right to it. I can put the dots to it myself. To me, I think it's probably a giant ring of these people, a club, a gang, just like they were claiming. But then when you confront these people on it, I never said that, or they dirty delete the. video or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, Chadwell is still a suspect in this case, if not the killer. Possibly, if not the killer. His voice. I've been listening to his lot of his voice, and I've said this a while back that that voice does sound like. I had three picks. Chadwell was one of them as voice guy. Bridge guy also. He's got Chadwell has the features that we're seeing on Bridge guy. But here's the thing: they're trying to say Allen. It's Richard Allen on Bridge. It might not. And Chadwell had a bite. So he very well could have biked out of there. Or he had a ride. Someone drove him there. I think it was a bunch of these guys. Pedo ring or whatever, gang, whatever. You know, I don't know. That's just my opinion. He's still on the table. Is this? Like I said, we're gonna kick ourselves in the butt each day going through this case. They're all suspect. What is it screaming out when they've been picking up these people? And even in the papers and on the news, they said uh, that he's a suspect, that they were looking at him as being a suspect. He's known to sleep under bridges, all in Lafayette and Delphi. He knows that area. He's claimed on video that he knows that area. And he knows a lot of dudes, some club that he belonged to. So, yeah, he fits as suspect, if not. Like I said, I went with him as voice guy. And I went with him as bridge guy too. But now that they got Allen, maybe Allen is the bridge guy and Chadwell voice guy. I don't know. All right, folks. Thanks for stopping in. That's my opinion. James Chadwell is still a player in the Delphi monopoly of suspects as a killer. And was he strong enough at that time? Yeah, he was bigger. He was stronger than Richard Allen. Chadwell was a beefy dude. He worked out. He was known to be a badass, a little badass. If you talk to his family members and you listen to the interviews of his brothers, that he was a real psycho and he loved to fight. He was a fighter and he was a little nut job and he was a strong dude. So yeah, he had capabilities to where if it was one guy, do I think he would have been able to carry uh, the kids better than than Richard Allen? Yeah, you know, bridge guy. I had three people lined up. I'm not going to lie with you. Chadwell was one of them, and Sean Harmon was the other bridge guy that I had picked up. Them two matched bridge guy. The voice, I also went with Chadwell on the voice. The match, the way he talked, the way he phrased things. Now I could be wrong, but that's me listening to hours and hours of Chadwell, and then listening to the recording of Delphi over again and over again. And I had like two or three people. Chadwell was one, Harmon was one as bridge guy. And I had 3 of them or 4 of them for voice because everyone forgot Anthony Greeno did a reenactment, and Anthony Greeno used his own voice to say what Bridge Guy said or Voice Guy on the recording. So it's possible Anthony Greeno's voice clip might have been used in the original Delphi clip. Possibly that's why a couple of us are listening to it going, it does sound a little bit like him, but it don't. But it could be that somebody got his reenactment voiceover that he did and got it mixed up possibly. But my first choice was Chadwell uh, for Voice Guy. And that was many hours of listening to him talk and many hours of listening to Delphi Voice Guy. So I don't know. I don't know. But like I said, folks, I could be wrong on that. I'm no professional, but he's still a player in the game. And we don't know how many people or women he kidnapped. We're talking this was a 9-year-old girl that he had chained up in his basement. So he's a player in the game of Delphi. And yeah, I don't know. Delphi will never end, folks. It will never end. Every day there's a new bridge guy. Then bridge guy could be Richard Allen. Richard Allen could have been the scapegoat. Walking down the bridge, and he was actually used and didn't even know it. That is possible. And it is possible that it is Richard Allen. If any of you out there, hey Tahoe, how you doing? Spencer Ashworth. If any of you out there that can say that's Richard Allen 100% walking down the bridge, well, all the power to you. But to put Richard Allen on the chair and fry him like a shish kebab, uh, I can't say that 100% without seeing a clearer photo and hearing more video of Richard Allen's voice. It's very possible voice man on that recording is Richard Allen. Don't know. It'll be interesting to see, though, what the professionals come up with. I don't know how we can't look at this as a massive ring. When you have these guys on social media talking about they belong to a club, and then you got women saying these guys are abusing these kids and kidnapping kids and abusing women and putting them out on the street and killing some of them. And it's hard for me to overlook uh, that. Then it's some conspiracy. I'm sorry, the evidence is pointing towards this is a massive ring down south down there of some kind of a club, a gang of druggies, rapists, traffickers, I don't know, pedo photos or whatever. I don't know. I don't know which way to turn. There's so many theories and roads and rabbit holes to go in. I don't know. It might be corrupt uh, in Indiana down south. It might very well be corrupt, but that ain't no politician walking down the bridge. I'm sorry. A lot of people are screaming out politics and it's all corrupt. Maybe it is, but They're not the ones that actually did the murders. How about we get the guys that did the murders of not just Abby and Libby, probably many of these missing kids and women down there down south. And now you can't. Now you got to look at Patrick Scott, uh, who kidnapped his next door neighbor's daughter, another one, and stalked her, and he worked for the parents, and she was 17 or 16 years old. And here is the freaky thing about it: all along, this young lady was 200 feet away from her parents the whole time. That's how close the guy hid the body. 200 feet away from the parents' house. The guy was the next door neighbor. Now we have to go through everything that Patrick Scott. Where was Patrick Scott 2017 on February 13th? Now you got to backtrack everything this guy, where he's been, what he's done. Is this the only girl that's on his property? It's a big property. A lot of work, folks. People don't understand it. It takes time, manpower to investigate, especially if every day you're getting a phone call and someone's putting in a tip, and every day you pick someone up that has murdered a young kid, you have to go through their history to look to see if there's any other cases that match what this guy has done. So it's very possible it was a serial killer, a one in a one chance deal where he stalked and picked out his victim and did it, and he was out of there and moved on to kill someone else somewhere else. Right? Very possible. I can't say it's 100% Richard Allen. Richard Allen has confessed to a lot of things. He's confessed to being on the bridge. That don't make him the guy that killed him. He's confessed to being out there way before the girls were even there, and he used to go there. It's a known place to party, do drugs, shoot weapons, hunt, or just walk your dog or whatever. You know, that bullet could have been out there for a long time. We're not sure. But for them to come to me and say, is this Richard Allen walking down the bridge? I'd have to say, well, he's got the shoulders. He don't have the face characters that I'm seeing. But it's possible that's because he's so far away and it's a blurred vision. Now, if they gave me something a little closer that we can look and then compare a photo of Richard Allen in 2017, then we can say, that's Richard Allen. No doubt about it. But I'm going off the gait, the way the guy walks, the way the guy's his stance. And I still say he's got a problem with that left leg. He's babying that left leg when he's walking down that bridge. A lot of people are saying, well, there's gaps in between there. I'm like, no, because watch, when he walks, he don't put a lot of pressure on that right leg. So either he's got knee problems, something wrong with his knee or hip. I went with, actually, bridge guy was Sean Harmon. If you look at Sean Harmon's Facebook photos, he at that time had reddish brown hair, uh, and he was a lot chunkier than he is was. I don't know. People said he died, but there's been no proof of that. So, but like I said, you folks have your own mind. You can think what you want. You have your own minds. I'm taking that this was some kind of a group down there, and it's very possible they all were working together. It's very possible there was one head guy. Yeah, it's possible Chadwell did talk to them girls. Yeah, it's possible. It's also possible that Keegan Klein talked to them girls and had girls lured just for this game, this club, and then they kidnap the girls and they use them for sex or snuff films and then kill the girls. Yeah, it does make sense. I'm not going to argue with anybody on that theory. It makes perfect sense. It makes a lot more sense than this Odin crap. Excuse me, I'm under attack by somebody. Yes, this ring, this kitty pedo ring, this Keegan Klein and the rest of these guys down there that were getting busted makes more sense to me than it's an Odin group of witches and sorcerers, right? Why don't you just throw in the flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz and let's just get this whole movie going, right? Ridiculous Odinist. Maybe Odinist, maybe they all were Odinists, but not. There ain't no women in this Odinist club because I think the women themselves probably would have turned these guys. It's probably why these guys ain't real Odinists, if they are even Odinists. See, the Odinists that we're seeing on YouTube are the tree huggers, right? A bunch of women dressed in Viking old clothes, which don't look bad on some of them ladies. And then a bunch of guys dressed up in Viking clothes. And they're out there worshiping stuff. Some of them dress in regular clothes, some of them don't. They worship the outside nature and trees and everything. And these guys might have broke away and started their own club of Odins. Bunch of sickos that rape and pillage little kids. I don't know, and young teenage girls and their women. Maybe, I don't know. Right? We'll find out in court. Right, let's get this show going. And I do believe they got some of these dudes involved. We know Chadwell ain't going nowhere. He's going to be in that little cell for 99 years, they're saying. Here's the thing. He didn't get the death penalty. I wonder if he cut a deal and he talked about this club he belonged to. Very possible. Right? Very possible. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Same thing with Keegan Klein. Was it 7 charges dropped on Keegan Klein? And he's still looking at 40 years. So what did he say to get them charges dropped? You have to ask yourself that. You're looking at death penalty, right? Yeah, if they say he talked and read it, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. To lesser charges, he'll be able to do his time probably without getting killed. I don't know. From what they say, he had anywhere from 200 to 400 photos of young girls, naked kids. And maybe he ain't as safe as he thought in prison. Even though I don't know. I don't want. I can be honest with you, folks. Your guess is as good as mine. We're just trying to help as much as we can. So I went with Chadwell, with voice guy, and possibly bridge guy. And I also went with Sean Harmon as bridge guy, but not voice guy. No, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. Bridge guy could have been a setup. Had nothing to do with it. Didn't know about anything. Could have just kept walking. Or he knew about it but didn't actually commit the murders. Possibly. We don't know. I can be honest, I don't know. There's just so many suspects that fit the demeanor. And we got 4 people that look like Richard Allen. You got Duvall, you got a couple of these guys from a distance look like Richard Allen. From a distance, Chadwell looks like Richard Allen. To me, Bridge Guy was stockier, like Chadwell. What's up, Cartman? Do I think Chadwell was strong enough to do something like that? I don't know. Probably by himself. Possibly. I can tell you what, this crime stuff is driving. It'll drive you crazy. All right, folks, there's my opinion on it. It's getting late. It's 1:45. My voice is shot. I'm under attack by something, I think, too. Demonic or something. Witchery, a spell or something, possibly. I don't know what to believe no more with these people. You listen to these people and they say it's all true. All right, well, that explains my life. My whole life has been a curse. Thank you, folks, for explaining my life. Ah, I'm going to ask chat if they have anything they want to talk about with this case. Hello, I'm Beth Pecky. Anybody? Nobody? No. I'm going to end this video. I want you folks to have a good night. I want you to be safe. Keep an eye on each other. God bless you all. And remember, if you're going to be a crime fighter, keep an open mind. This might be exactly the ring that the government was talking about all along. People are, it's this, it's that. Why are you folks straying away from all the evidence pointing to it was this club down there, or a bunch of sickos possibly? Could have been just one of them, but I imagine they all knew each other somewhere down the road. If they were all talking about a club they belonged to, yeah, possibly. Now, you folks have a great day. Be safe. God bless. And we'll talk to you later and keep working on the case, folks. Each day, I got to take a break from it. It's too madness. It's too crazy. Be safe. God bless. Talk to you later.